mean, I think it's great for the players, great for the fans. It's like, I think it just gets everybody juiced up, gets everybody excited. You know, the games are coming soon. You know, the season's starting, and when you get first night or Midnight Madness type of event. So, it's just, I think what we get as coaches when this is over is like we get like a group of guys that, like, I think even turns it up a little bit in practice, because this kind of signifies the season starting. So, like, I think it gets real for our guys once this night passes a little bit.
How have things been progressing since the first practice? Are you where you thought you'd be, or are you behind where you thought you'd be?
No, these guys are, these guys are working hard. We've been a little bit nicked up. Obviously we've had Mo down, we've had Kasum down for a little bit. Jalen's missed some time. We've had some guys go out. The physicality of practice, and the demands of practice is kind of, we're in that training camp mentality part of, the practice calendar. So, they've done everything we asked them to do. Obviously adapting to a completely new style. Going from, more of a zone team to a man team, and and then just kind of learning, different offensive concepts. And playing a little bit different way at that end. It's probably more just like the learning curve than it is anything about how they're going about it, because these guys are going hard.
How do you kind of do this? Do you kind of build up the intensity, or keep it all in one intensity? I mean, how do you, as you progress towards the season?
Yeah, so we tried the first couple of days, we tried to keep the practices around 2 hours. But like very fast-paced, very up-tempo, kind of just like the way we'd work during the summer. We've got the practices up probably as high as maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes, and that's probably as long as we'll go on the court. It's because of the pace that we practice at, so it's, for us as we get close to the season, we'll start scaling back, doing, less live, less hand-to-hand combat, and try to bring these guys back a little bit physically, get them fresher. But right now it's like, it's competition out there. Guys compete for starting spots, guys compete for roles. So, and there are spots that are obviously open.
Dan, have you started to see a personality or a characteristic emerge from these early practices?
Yeah, we look a lot different right now. The guys look a lot different. Defensive rotations, just the intensity and the competitiveness these guys are playing at. So, like, the message today was like, fellas, we're really starting to understand, how hard you have to play to be successful at this level. Now we've got to be able to just kind of turn our focus to being able to, like, execute, like being able to understand how to execute offense, how to read screens, obviously making the extra pass, having a combination of, inside, outside basketball, just like kind of the execution stuff. But I think they understand now, like, how hard you got to work, how hard you got to compete. So that's a good thing.
Who has shown you something? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Who has shown you something that you maybe weren't expecting? Who's been really impressive at that?
There's things that, obviously as coaches, like, you're only as good as your last practice. So I'm like going probably off the last couple, but I would say, like, Sid has been tremendous the last couple of practices. He's really taken it up a notch. That's that's a talented guy that can really, bring a lot to this program potentially. I like the adjustments that Christian's making. He's been, his shot selection, his willingness to share the ball has been, like, really, really impressive, especially, the last couple of days here. So you can see a guy that's maybe, really maturing as a guard there. I like Jalen's approach. I like Jalen, Al. Obviously, I love the ability that they would have together in the backcourt.
Has Gino given you any directions on how to coach his players?
How to coach his players? Oh, no. I mean, we were fortunate enough. We had a day off one day this week, so we got a chance to go over there and watch him work, for a couple of hours, like midweek, before we went out and did some recruiting. So, yeah, he texted me last night what he wants from us.
Is that the first time you'd ever checked in on one of these practices? Or?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time. I've seen Gino in clinics, but that was my first chance to watch, watch his team, and just to see, like, the, it's like professionalism, the understanding of how they want to play, the maturity, obviously the championship culture, just oozes out at you as you're watching, and just like it's watching a well-oiled organization.
Is that just you, the staff, or?
Yeah, we had a couple guys, a couple assistants were out, but a couple of us went over and watched. Coaches are always trying to steal ideas, trying to find new drills, trying to find new concepts at either end of the court that you might be able to implement based on on what you have that year. So, I would think of the day, earlier in the week I was with the Celtics, got a chance to see Gino, so it's a chance to see two of the best coaches work.
I know that first practice you had to go a little bit longer because they weren't doing what you wanted to, are they? And in practice more on time recently? We've
gotten that drill right more frequently. Or we just try to stay away from it. No, they're much better in terms of understanding the fundamentals. And it's a simple thing. Success in basketball is the details. Right? It's being fundamentally sound. It's it's like winning and losing is like details, man. It's like the margins that we play at, 1-possession games, 2-possession games. It's like catching the ball with 2 hands, chinning rebounds and pivoting away from the defense. It's getting set on screens. It's making the extra pass. It's all these little things that are a little bit monotonous for players to drill and drill and drill day after day, but that's what winning is.
You have obviously a lot of guys come back, but you have the 3 new guys. How are they kind of incorporating with the team that's here?
Yeah, I mean, Taryn's certainly added to our guard group. Taryn's just a mature guard that can really make plays in the paint, guard the ball. So, with Al healthy and Jalen and Christian and Taryn and Brendan Adams, that's 5 pretty good guards. We got some depth there. Obviously Tyler and Sid could play on the perimeter as well.
They're fitting in pretty well with them.
Yeah, they are. Yahweh, we obviously haven't had a chance yet with him in practice, but I think we know who he is. And then Brendan Adams, I mean, you just watch practice and you just don't think freshman, because of his background, coming from a basketball family. He doesn't look like a freshman in practice. He's a guy that we're going to be able to play this year and hopefully give us some really good minutes.
What are your expectations
from Brad Stevens' practice?
They don't have any bad players. Yeah, I mean, they don't have any bad players. They don't turn the ball over. They never turn the ball over. They always get a good shot. The closer they get the basket to the basket, the more they slow down so that they can read the defense. They just understand how to use screens. They talk on defense like professionals. It's just it's obviously a well-structured practice in terms of the evolution of what they're trying to build up to. So. It also was like a little bit of a kick in the stomach when you go see them, and then we come back and can't do that 3-man weave drill. So,
what's the reason you went up there? Did you just invite you up there? Or?
Yeah, I do it every year. I go see the Knicks, go see the Nets, go see the Celtics. Try to go to college practices of people that feel like I got a chance to learn from. So just literally like professional development.
Has it been tough to make a decision on the floor when you haven't seen Mo maybe as much as you want or Yahweh as much as you want, and kind of style of play you might have?
Yeah. I think it gives us a chance to work on a little bit of the small ball that we would play with potentially 3 guards or 2 guards, Tyler and Sid, potentially with a big in there. So it's given us a chance to kind of work on that attack, on that style. And then as we get these guys back healthier, we'll get a chance to play maybe a little bit more of that conventional, 4-man. Like, Isaiah could play there. Yahweh I think could play there. So there are a couple of kind of your traditional, bigger, more physical guys too.
What's his status, Yahweh? So with his injury with his foot?
Yeah, we think he'll be back soon. He, knock on wood, he's healed well, and he should be progressing to some skill work beginning of the week. Hopefully transitioning by the weekend into bits of some live parts, and then but he should be available. I don't know that he'll be available for the secret scrimmage, but hopefully the exhibition, he's out there feeling great now.
Jalen back to practice though, since the finger thing?
He is, and he was good today. Shot the cover off of it, which is on his checklist of things that he's just must do this year. The shooting, the grit, you know, the leadership. That's all got to be there.
Coach, how do you feel about your first night?
Yeah, it's exciting, you know, like it's probably a little more low-key for me this year. Last year I was jumping off a trampoline. So, yeah, I'm going to have much more of a bit part in this one, which is just how I'd like it, you know, because that was a little bit dangerous and potentially embarrassing. So, you know, I've got 2 scripts of things to say in there when I get the mic from whoever's giving it to me, and I don't think anyone's going to hear a word I'm saying anyway, so I don't know that it really matters, because it's probably going to be loud in there.
Is Quentin the runner-right favorite in the dunk contest, or?
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, this is probably, I'd imagine, you know, this is Quentin's Super Bowl tonight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the social media that he can potentially gain, what is that, the dopamine hits here that he can potentially walk away from. I mean, it's, what do I say, Game 7 NBA Finals for Quentin tonight. So I don't think he'll disappoint.
Are you going to challenge Coach Dino to dance off?
I definitely will not be challenging him to anything tonight. Nothing. No, I mean, if they would have pitched that earlier in the week, that would have been a maybe. That would have been a maybe.